So control scope. Control scope is all about preventing scope creep. All right, so there's two types of scope creep. We've got externally driven scope creep and internally driven scope creep that we call gold plating. All right, so we'll talk about these two, but pretty much our whole job is making sure the scope doesn't get out of hand in this process. And so a lot of this is also using integrated change control, and then really engaging a sponsor and saving them from themselves sometimes. Sometimes they will give you all the money and the time in the world to do it, and it's like they don't even need it, and so you have to save them from spending more money than they actually need to spend. That could be part of it too. All right, so the key outputs here: work performance information. We got data in, information out. Let me use the other piece here. We also get, we may potentially get some change requests, updates to our approach or our documents. And to get there, we'll take the plan, we'll take the project documents, we'll take the data and any OPAs we have. And then we're going to be looking at variance analysis and trend analysis. That's what we're really going to be looking at here. So key outputs, work performance information. What's the degree of variation and the magnitude of variation from the scope baseline? What's the cause of it? Right, that will be the work performance information. Right, how is the actual scope performing against the scope baseline? And then we may need to do some sort of analysis on how we're going to change in order to control the scope, because the change request may not necessarily be anything about the budget or the schedule. It may just be about the scope itself. It may be about how we're going to do the work, or what type of materials and compounds we're going to be using. So we'll use our plans and our documents as well that may get updated based on any changes we make. We'll get there by taking work performance data and documents that will give us the necessary info so that we can identify where those variances are, and again, what the magnitude is, what the cause of it is. And then we can compare it against the standard, against the scope baseline, the performance measurement baseline. So the performance measurement baseline here, this is where we take the scope, schedule, budget, those or cost baselines, those three baselines, and then we also add in a quality metric. We add in a quality baseline in terms of like what's our defect rate, or how efficient are we at producing deliverables, and then you get the true performance of the project. That's the performance measurement baseline. Take documentation, traceability matrix, and then we'll look for a number of change requests. How many have been accepted? The deliverables that have been verified, validated, changes that have been validated and then completed. All right, we'll look at all these and determine if we need to take some action. All right, so are we exceeding our threshold? Do we need to take some appropriate action? And then are we improving or deteriorating based on historical results?